As Boksa continues to intensely train so he can one day enter the World Martial Arts Tournament, Bulma continues to hold Oolong's small intestine hostage so she can exploit his shape-shifting abilities. Versus the original series, Bulma doesn't lose her Dino Caps, but upon arriving at Fire Mountain, they're greeted by Ox, who is lukewarm at best. He berates and attacks them, at first believing they're treasure hunters after his valuables. Without much of a horse in this race, Bulma pipes up and admits that they're only looking for one treasure in particular, one called a Dragon Ball. But of course, she would never steal it. They're just out there following their little map of theirs. They manage to stave off death, but Ox tells them they're out of luck anyway. His castle has been set ablaze and only the legendary Bancho fan would be able to put out the flames. Neither Bulma or Oolong have the slightest clue what he's talking about. Instead of giving them a chance to hunt down the Bancho fan, Ox tells them to be gone and get off his mountain or face the consequences. Speeding off Fire Mountain, the pair breeze past Fungus Town and the Diablo Desert. And if you know your Dragon Ball lore, you know this means Easter will never be the same. More misfortune arises as the Pilaf gang introduce themselves and steal the 2 Dragon Balls Bulma does possess, the one she obtained from the Capsule Corp basement before traveling to Mount Paozu, and the one she got from Ryu Village. Distraught and beaten down, she's ready to give up. And for now, that's exactly what she does. After having enough adventure, Bulma decides to pack it on in and head home, telling Oolong he's free to leave now. She doesn't have to tell him twice and he's gone without a second thought. Without some muscle, the quest has just proven to be too much for her. On the other side of the spectrum, Pilaf now has 4 Dragon Balls, just 3 more, and he can wish for world domination. Using his own radar, he locates the ball nestled in Fire Mountain. He forces Shu into a fire-resistant machine and orders him after the ball. Nervous, shaking, and straight scared, Shu descends into the flames, surrounded by a literal interpretation of hell itself. It doesn't take long for him to catch a glimmer in the rubble, and sure enough, it's one of the wish orbs. He grabs it and quickly ascends to safety. Meanwhile, across the oceans on a tiny island in the middle of nowhere, a young boy from the Orin Temple washes ashore at Kame House, home of the renowned martial arts Master Roshi. While showing immense potential, the young man, Krillin of course, was bullied at his former dojo, which has brought him here on this day. Initially, the old hermit declines Krillin's request for training, but luckily, Krillin knows Roshi's weakness. After agreeing to take Krillin on as a student, the young man asks out of vague curiosity, "Say, Master, what's that orange ball on your necklace?" "What, this? Just something the Tide brought in one day. I just thought it looked cool." Back at Capsule Corp, Boksa's training is going rather well. After just a few days, he's able to quickly adapt to the weighted apparel Dr. Brief has created. Brief tells Boksa that he's hired Master Satan, the guy who runs Satan Castle Dojo, to help him train. A defeated Bulma walks through the front door, eyes closed, head down. Dr. Brief warmly greets her and asks how her adventure went. Bulma says she doesn't want to talk about it and heads to her room to faceplant onto her bed. Boksa's imagination is still running wild at the thought of fighting so many strong warriors. Until this point, he's only had other kids, which are pretty much like squishing bugs. The next day, sometime in the afternoon, the Pilaf gang arrives at the destination for the 6th Dragon Ball in their collection. Shu carries the other 5 in a duffel bag as he waits outside with Mai. Pilaf himself takes the honor of opening the door to Gohan's house. Luckily for him, he finds the place empty. Using his radar, he walks straight up to the Dragon Ball, and now he just has 1 remaining. But as we all know, Pilaf's rotten luck is one of the few traits that defines him, and Gohan happens home just at this moment while carrying a giant fish behind him. "Oh, what's this now? Can't an old man just live in peace?" Mai and Shu shout back, "Beat it, Gramps, unless you want to get hurt." "I seriously doubt you could actually fulfill that promise," responds the agile old man. Aggravated by his response, Mai and Shu tense up a bit as Pilaf walks out of the house with the 4-star ball. "What are you guys..." "Oh, sorry old timer, but I'll be taking this from you. I left all your other dusty possessions alone though, so don't you worry." This stupid thing again? Listen, I don't even really much care for the damn thing. I just can't stand entitled brats like you who think you can just take it. Using superhuman speed, Gohan snatches the ball from Pilaf. Irate, Pilaf demands that he give it back, and then is met with a kick to the face that sends him flying dozens of feet backwards. Terrified, Mai and Shu quickly get out their exo armor robots and plan to fight. They open fire with their machine guns and flamethrowers, but the wily Grandpa is far too nimble for their brainless, brute force tactics. He grabs one of the robots by the arm and slings it into the other, incapacitating them both. He then grabs Pilaf, placing him inside the same robot as Shu, before grabbing both machines by miscellaneous limbs and hurling them off of the mountain, just like his, at the time, idle threat to Bulma. Well, that takes care of that, he thinks, as he turns around to continue to prepare his dinner. He notices their duffel bag and airship still remaining. He restores the aircraft back to its capsule and places it inside the outer lying pocket of the duffel bag before hurling it off the mountain after Pilaf and the others. "Take your stinking things with you!" the clueless old-timer yells. The Pilaf gang lies nearly unconscious at the base of the mountain as the bag whacks Pilaf in the head. Gohan decides that this stupid orange rock is more trouble than it's worth and hurls it down the mountain as well, again comedically smacking Pilaf right in the face. "Well, at least we got the Dragon Ball," he says, trying to stay optimistic. Days go by for Krillin as he continues to train solo with Master Roshi, still getting used to the way of the turtle. His muscles ache and he's moving a little sluggishly, but stays determined nonetheless. As Pilaf and company close in on the aptly named Training Island where Roshi and the young Krillin currently reside, they're still recovering from some aching of their own. During one of their milk delivery routines, the old familiar gang zone in on Roshi and Krillin, believing them to just be an old man and little boy. But having a little bit of PTSD from their previous encounter with an old man, they decide to send in one of their drones to attack from the air. The drone instantly fires a missile at Roshi, who isn't surprised for even an instant. Sensing the impending danger, he dodges the missile with minimal effort, much to the horror of the Pilaf gang. "Of course, another superhero Grandpa!" Pilaf shouts. Not to be defeated again, he orders Shu and Mai into their combat robots to kill the old man and the boy. But Mai points out that they were destroyed back at Mount Paozu and they've yet to be repaired. Frustrated, Pilaf says the remaining 2 of his drones. Roshi informs Krillin to watch out and this will just have to be another part of the training. He doesn't know the meaning of this or what they want, but it's clear they're not friendly. Krillin, though very timid, tries getting in on the action. However, he mostly just ends up panicking and attempts to dodge the incoming missiles. In almost dance-like form, Roshi weaves in and out of the barrage of missiles and kicks one of the drones, destroying it instantly. Roshi lands back on the ground before jumping into the air once more, jumping off one drone to the other and crashes through the floor of Pilaf's airship. The Pilaf gang in a panic doesn't know how to react. Using his staff, Roshi whacks the steering wheel on the ship, completely breaking it off and separating it from the ship itself, jumping back through the hole of the floor that he had just made. As the 2 drones try to target Roshi on his way down, he dodges both missiles as they cruise directly into Pilaf's ship. Roshi smashes the nearest one before landing a final punch on the remaining drone. Now while this whole scene seems a little campy, it's a pivotal point to Krillin because he sees firsthand how fearless and precise Roshi is in action. Pilaf's aircraft goes down and crashes into the ocean, with our 3 favorite misfits staying afloat using nearby debris. Mai manages to throw out a capsule that turns into a boat and they all manage to board, coughing up water and trying to catch their breath, but who else but Master Roshi is there to greet them? Shu just curls up in the fetal position holding on to the duffel bag of Dragon Balls for dear life. "Now, one more time, why did you fools attack us?" While looking down at them, groveling on their knees, Roshi happens to catch an orange glimmer in his peripheral. The Dragon Ball on his neck is glowing. He also happens to notice the glimmer emanating from the duffel bag the dog is holding. Since it seems important, he decides to take it from him to try to teach these thugs a lesson. He snatches the bag from Shu before he even notices. "Now then," Roshi starts as he once again utilizes his cane to puncture a hole in the boat. "Let this be a lesson to you foolish thieves." Roshi jumps off and gets back to the island as the boat begins to sink. The Pilaf gang scream as the boat submerges. "Krillin, let this be a lesson to you. If you ever abuse the training I give you, you'll end up just like those morons." A still rather timid Krillin nods in agreement. Roshi then tells Krillin to go grab the milk and they're going to continue their training. Not knowing what he has just taken from the Pilaf gang, Roshi now possesses all 7 Dragon Balls. Remember, hit that like button, that subscribe button, the bell for notifications, and at the very least, do all that stuff for the goats at the beginning of this video. But for real this time, we'll catch you next time.